God is saying to you, transcript, my beloved child, if this message touches your heart, I invite you to share your faith by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Declare your love for God in the comments by writing, I really love you, God. If you feel led to support this mission of spreading love and light, you can consider contributing through Super Thanks. A gift of $50 to $100 or any amount you feel moved to share helps carry this message to more hearts. Remember, every act of generosity, no matter the amount, is deeply valued and appreciated. My beloved, you stand at the crossroads of choices, unaware of the weight they carry. The world whispers its deceitful promises, leading many astray, but I see beyond what your eyes perceive. I know the struggles that cloud your heart, the burdens that press upon your soul. You hesitate, wondering which path to take, fearing the unknown. Yet I tell you, listen closely. Every decision you make shapes your destiny, and some choices lead to doors that cannot be easily reopened. You were not created for failure. You were not meant to walk blindly, following the ways of those who chase shadows. The noise of this world drowns out truth, but I am here, calling you. Do not mistake temporary comfort for lasting peace. Do not confuse loud voices for wisdom. What seems right in the moment can be the very thing that leads to sorrow. I have seen many turn away, believing they can walk without me. They think they know better. They believe they can build without a foundation, that they can fill their emptiness with things that perish. But child, the greatest mistake is ignoring my voice. When you silence my guidance, you allow deception to take root. What begins as a small compromise soon grows into chains that bind you. You seek happiness, but true joy is found only in me. You long for love, but no earthly affection can compare to what I offer. Many chase after wealth, status, and recognition, thinking these will bring fulfillment. But I tell you, all these will fade like mist before the rising sun. What good is it to gain everything, yet lose the most precious treasure, your soul? Do not let distractions pull you away. The enemy places illusions before you, making the wrong path appear appealing. He disguises destruction as opportunity, pain as pleasure, and emptiness as satisfaction. You must be vigilant, for the decisions you make today will echo into eternity. I have seen the brokenness hidden beneath forced smiles. I know the silent cries of those who regret their choices. Some realize too late that they have wandered far, but I am merciful. Even in their fall I reach out, longing to restore. But why walk toward regret when I offer wisdom now? Why suffer the pain of wrong decisions when I am showing you the way to life? Do not trust what is temporary. Do not invest your heart in things that cannot sustain you. Instead, anchor yourself in my truth. Let my words guide you when uncertainty clouds your thoughts. I have laid a path before you, one of righteousness, peace, and purpose. Come back to me before regret becomes your companion. Let go of what pulls you away. Turn your heart toward me, and I will lead you into all that is good. You hesitate, wondering if my words truly apply to you. Perhaps you believe your path is already set, that you have everything under control. But child, do not be deceived. The greatest downfall comes not from lack of ability but from misplaced confidence. Those who think they cannot fall are the ones most at risk. The strongest walls crumble when the foundation is weak. The tallest trees break when the roots do not go deep. Many before you have walked this road, believing they were immune to failure. They ignored my voice, convinced that they could handle life on their own terms. At first, everything seemed fine. They prospered. They achieved. They built lives that appeared secure. But time revealed what was hidden beneath. Emptiness. Weariness. A longing that no earthly success could satisfy. The world encourages you to chase after fleeting things. It tells you to accumulate, to conquer, to make a name for yourself. But what is a name if it is not written in my book? What is wealth if it cannot purchase eternity? What is power if it only lasts for a moment? Those who live only for themselves will one day find that they have built nothing of worth. Their efforts will vanish like dust carried by the wind. You think you have time, but time is not in your hands. You believe you can wait, that you will choose me when it is convenient. But do not be fooled. Delaying obedience is still disobedience. Every moment spent away from me is a moment lost, a step further from the life I desire for you. Some believe they can return whenever they choose, but the heart hardens over time. The more you ignore my voice, the fainter it becomes. The longer you resist, the more difficult it is to turn back. Do not let your heart grow cold. Do not allow the enemy to lull you into complacency. The greatest tragedy is not in falling. It is in refusing to rise, in choosing to stay far from me when I am calling you home. You look at others and wonder why they seem ahead, why their lives appear more blessed. You question why some prosper while you struggle, but do not be deceived by appearances. Not all who seem successful are walking in peace. Many have everything the world offers, yet their souls are weary. They smile in public, but weep in secret. They are celebrated by men, but feel empty when they are alone. They have built their houses on sand, and when the storm comes, nothing will remain. And when the storm comes, they are victorious. They have peace that cannot be shaken, joy that does not fade, hope that outlasts every trial. I am speaking to you now because I do not want you to learn this lesson through pain. I do not want you to experience the sorrow of realizing too late what truly matters. Some only see clearly when all they relied on crumbles. Some only seek me when everything else has failed them. But you do not have to wait for hardship to open your eyes. You can choose wisdom now. You can listen while the path is still before you. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. You are free to choose, but know this. Your choice has consequences. There is no neutral ground. Every decision moves you closer to me or further away. What you invest in today will determine what you reap tomorrow. What you believe now will shape your eternity. Do not be careless with your soul. Do not gamble with your future. The enemy does not need to destroy you outright. He only needs to distract you, to keep you focused on things that do not matter until it is too late. He whispers lies, telling you that you have time, that you can always return later. But the truth is, every moment matters. Every choice counts. Look around you. How many have wasted their days chasing things that left them empty? How many have built lives that, in the end, meant nothing? Do not follow in their footsteps. Do not ignore the warnings. I am speaking now because I love you, because I desire what is best for you, because I know what is coming. Return to me before the weight of regret becomes too heavy to bear. Let go of the distractions that pull you away. Silence the voices that lead you astray. Seek me while I may be found. Walk in my ways while the door is still open. Do not wait for disaster to remind you of what truly matters. Do not allow pride to keep you from surrendering. I am here reaching out. Will you take my hand, or will you turn away? You hear my voice, yet hesitation lingers. The pull of the world tugs at your heart, whispering that there is still time, that you can walk your own way and return when you are ready. But do you not see? Time is not in your hands. Every moment you delay, every step away from my presence weakens your foundation. I have seen those who once walked with me, who knew my truth, who tasted my goodness, only to drift because they thought they could manage without me. Slowly, distractions took hold. Their hearts once burned with passion, but they allowed the fire to dim. They pursued things that promised joy, but delivered sorrow. They wandered, thinking they could always return, only to wake up one day realizing how far they had strayed. You do not have to take that path. You do not have to wait for pain to teach you what wisdom freely offers. The greatest deception is believing you can control your future when it is I who holds all things. You think you will return when you are ready, but the longer you walk away, the harder it is to come back. Each step in the wrong direction builds walls that separate you from my voice, from my leading, from the life I have prepared for you. Many make the mistake of seeking fulfillment in things that were never meant to satisfy. They chase wealth, yet their souls remain impoverished. They build reputations, yet inside they feel unseen. They indulge in pleasure, yet emptiness follows them. These things cannot sustain you. They are illusions, mirages in a desert that leave you thirstier than before. I see the burdens you carry, the silent battles you fight. The world may not notice, but I do. You do not have to struggle alone. You do not have to prove your worth through endless striving. I have already declared your value. I have already set a place for you in my kingdom. Do not let temporary things steal your eternal inheritance. Do not trade what is lasting for what will fade. Every moment matters. Every choice leads somewhere. The enemy does not need you to reject me outright. He only needs to keep you distracted, delayed, and occupied with things that do not draw you closer to me. How many have spent their years chasing after success, only to realize they built their lives on sinking sand? How many thought they had everything, only to feel emptier than when they started? They had riches, but no peace. Influence, but no rest. Achievement, but no purpose. What gain is there if you have the world, yet lose your soul? I am calling you now, before regret sets in, before the weight of wrong choices burdens you. Turn to me while the way is open. Do not let pride or fear keep you from surrendering. My arms are ready to receive you. My grace is waiting to cover you. There is nothing you have done, no mistake too great, that can keep me from embracing you when you return. The enemy wants you to believe that you are too far gone, that you have failed too many times, that your past disqualifies you. But listen, my mercy is greater than your failures. My love reaches deeper than your worst moments. There is no sin too great, no shame too heavy, that my sacrifice cannot cover. I see the wounds you try to hide, the scars that others cannot see. You have tried to heal on your own, to bury the pain beneath achievements, distractions, or silence. But only I can restore what has been broken. Only I can give you the peace you long for. Do not waste another moment carrying what I have already paid for. Surrender is not weakness, it is the greatest strength. The world tells you to fight to prove yourself, to take control, but true freedom is found in yielding to me. True strength is trusting that my plans are higher, my ways are better, my love is unshakable. Come as you are. You do not have to fix yourself before returning. You do not have to earn my love. It has always been yours. The invitation has always been open. But do not delay, for every day spent apart from me is a day stolen from the fullness of life I have for you. Many have waited until it was too late. They ignored my voice, assuming they could turn back whenever they chose. But the heart is not so easily softened after years of resistance. The longer you push me away, the easier it becomes to stay distant. Do not make that mistake. The easier it becomes to stay distant. Do not make that mistake. Do not be one who looks back and wishes they had listened sooner. I have called you for a purpose. You were created for more than survival, more than mere existence. I have placed eternity within you, a destiny far greater than anything this world offers. But you must choose it. You must walk in it. I will not force you, but I will always call you. Your future is in my hands, but the choice is yours. Will you follow the path I have set before you, or will you walk a road that leads to regret? Will you trust me, or will you chase after things that will never satisfy you? Will you trust me, or will you chase after things that will never satisfy you? The time is now. Do not wait until you have lost what matters most. Do not let the enemy convince you that tomorrow is guaranteed. This moment right now is a gift. What will you do with it? You stand at a precipice where choices unfold like branches, each stretching toward an unseen outcome. Every step forward shapes not just the present, but the unseen expanse of eternity. The urgency of the decision is not bound by the constraints of time but by the weight of consequence. Distractions cloud clarity. The whispers of a world intoxicated by fleeting pleasures distort truth. You have seen many follow these illusions, believing their hands can grasp fulfillment in what fades. Yet, when the mirage dissipates, they are left reaching for what was never real. The voice of deception speaks softly, never demanding attention outright, but weaving its thread subtly, stitching false assurances into the fabric of thought. If left unchecked, compromise becomes a comfortable dwelling, and soon the heart forgets its origin. An unguarded mind is fertile ground where weeds of doubt take root. When left unchallenged they grow into fortresses that obscure vision, entangling the soul in confusion. That which once seemed unimaginable becomes reasonable, and the slow erosion of discernment leads to paths never meant to be traveled. You may believe your heart is steadfastly immune to persuasion, firm against. But subtlety is the greatest tool of darkness. The strongest structures do not collapse in a moment. They weaken gradually, unnoticed until their fall is inevitable. The battle is not fought in grand arenas, but in the quiet decisions of daily existence. It is waged in the small moments where truth and convenience stand opposed. Many expect the enemy to come wielding destruction, yet he often comes disguised as comfort, luring with assurances that consequences can wait. But there is no neutral ground. Every thought nurtured, every word spoken, every action taken either builds or erodes. Nurtured, every word spoken, every action taken either builds or erodes, strengthens or weakens, lifts or burdens. Each response determines the condition of the soul. If the foundations are not secured in unshakable truth, even the mightiest resolve will crumble under the weight of trials. Strength is not found in self-reliance but in dependence on the source of all wisdom. True fortitude is forged in surrender, not in defiance. Many seek knowledge, yet few pursue understanding. Accumulating information does not equate to discernment. Even the most intelligent can be misled if wisdom is absent. The ability to distinguish between what glitters and what is gold is rare, for many desire what is seen more than what is true. You cannot walk in light while embracing shadows. You cannot speak truth while entertaining falsehoods. The divided heart is unstable, wavering between paths, longing for the assurance of both yet receiving the certainty of neither. Compromise begins in small concessions. A single justification, a moment of leniency, an ignored warning, these are the seeds from which great falls emerge. The strongest chains are not forged instantly, but link by link, each choice adding weight, until movement becomes impossible. What is tolerated today becomes bondage tomorrow. That which seems harmless when entertained grows into dominion when left unchallenged. The subtlety of destruction lies in its patience. It does not demand immediate surrender but waits until resistance is weakened. Your journey is not just about avoiding pitfalls, but about advancing with purpose. Stagnation is a silent enemy, for even those who stand still are being pulled backward by the current of complacency. Growth is not accidental. It requires intentional pursuit. Growth is not accidental. It requires intentional pursuit, unwavering commitment, and a heart that refuses to settle. Many desire to soar, yet resist the discomfort of transformation. The refining process is never gentle. It demands the removal of what hinders, the breaking of what is impure, the reshaping of what is incomplete. Those unwilling to endure refining cannot carry the weight of greater purpose. Adversity is not the enemy, it is the furnace where strength is forged. Trials are not punishments, but opportunities for elevation. Those who flee hardship for comfort will never know the depth of endurance. It is in pressure that character is revealed, in difficulty that faith is tested. The depth of your foundation is determined before the storm arrives. When the winds rise, it is too late to strengthen what was neglected. Preparation is not found in times of ease, but in discipline before the challenge arises. There is no shortcut to steadfastness, no instant path to unwavering conviction. Those who build upon fleeting emotions will find their resolve crumbles under the weight of opposition. But those who anchor themselves in truth will stand unshaken when everything else collapses. There will always be an easier way, a path that requires less resistance, less sacrifice, less commitment. But ease is rarely the marker of the right way. The road of endurance is not walked by the many, but by the few, for it is costly, and not all are willing to pay the price. If you seek only what is comfortable, you will never step into what is great. If you pursue only what is safe, you will never experience what is extraordinary. The greatest victories are won not in convenience, but in perseverance, in pressing forward when every voice says, retreat. Character is not shaped in moments of ease but in trials where endurance is tested. Those who shrink back at the first sign of hardship were never rooted deeply. Strength is not revealed in the absence of struggle but in the refusal to be overcome by it. You have been called to stand when others fall, to hold fast when many waver, and to remain unshaken when the world trembles. But standing firm requires unwavering conviction, a heart that does not falter, a soul anchored beyond the reach of circumstance. Your identity is not in what the world calls you. It is not in titles, achievements, recognition, or approval. It is not in the shifting standards of men. It is found in who I have declared you to be, unchanging, unshaken, unaltered by external voices. If you live by the affirmation of others, you will be crushed by their rejection. If you seek approval from men, you will forfeit the fullness of my purpose. The voices of the crowd are unstable, praising one moment and condemning the next. Their opinion is fleeting, their judgment unreliable. Do not measure yourself by what is temporary. Do not define your worth by what will pass away. Everything the world exalts today will be forgotten tomorrow. Every idol it elevates will crumble in time. But what is built upon eternal truth will stand when all else fades. I do not seek those who blend in. I'm calling those who will rise above, who will walk set apart, who will refuse to be swayed by what is common. You were not created to conform but to transform, not to follow but to lead, not to settle but to advance. The cost of standing firm is great, but the cost of compromise is greater. The price of obedience is high, but the price of regret is unbearable. Choose now what you will pursue, for the time of wavering is over. Amen.